I'm super passionate about powerlifting. I'm super passionate about competing. And the biggest fear that I had coming in, to my first meet was, oh my God, I'm going for PRs. I'm lifting weights that I've never lifted before. Are these people going to keep me safe? And that's the primary job of the spotters, is to give lifters a platform to be able to show off all the hard work that we put in for months and months and months, where they don't have to worry about their safety. All they have to worry about is lifting the weights. At Untamed Strength for the first spotter loader seminar that we're gonna start running on a regular basis. The whole goal is to teach folks to be able to spot correctly, to spot safely, and understand what our role is on the platform. We're there to make the lifter's day great, to keep them safe. So the one thing that they can think about is just lifting weights, and we're responsible for keeping them safe.
Doing the hand.
This guy fucking brings donuts every weekend.
So today we're going to go through loading. Why is loading important? Why is it the redheaded stepchild of volunteering with powerlifting? But why I think it's probably the most important portion of the meet. Then we're going to go through spotting of squats. I'll talk about it, we'll show you, and then you'll get a chance to actually do some spotting. And then we'll move on to bench and deadlift. So, start off, what are some of the fears that you have as getting involved with spotting? Anybody have any fears?
Loading the wrong weight.
Loading the wrong weight. Yep.
Taking too long to load the weight.
Taking too long. Yep.
Catching the weight at the wrong time, putting someone off balance,
Perfect. Yep.
misgroove, misreps.
Yeah, jumping the gun and taking a lift away from somebody prematurely, or conversely, not taking it soon enough, and they end up getting hurt. Right.
Sure.
So, what we're going to do as we go through these different spotting techniques, these are primarily focused on platform, but it also needs to happen in the gym as well, because the gym is where we practice everything that we do on the platform. And I see so many scary moments in the gym where I see somebody trying to spot a 700-pound squat like this, or worse yet, this is the bar, they're standing over here just watching. Well, what happens when that person fails? When we fail, it happens so quick that we have to be right there and anticipate something is going to go wrong so they don't get hurt. So we'll start off with the loading. On a typical platform, you're going to have the back spotter, and the back spotter's responsibility is the lifter's safety, first and foremost. On any of the lifts, back spotter is keeping that person safe. That's their only concern. The side spotters are responsible for catching the weight, moving the weight, keeping it, the lifter out of harm's way, but their responsibility is this bar. The loaders are going to be, set up just to the side. So when we go through the loading portion of it, the format is the spotter is going to work hand in hand with the loader in order to get that weight set efficiently. Good. All right, so if you guys want, let's start a little line here. We get 2 lines and have you guys come up. I'll announce some weights. You guys do the loading. The only thing that might be a little weird is tightening down these collars. How many people have actually tightened down these collars before? All right, so you guys all know it. It's pretty easy. Slide it in. Initially, lock it down with this, and then to get it real snug, you're going to use this one to push everything into the bar. We want everything as tight as possible so there's nothing that could possibly be referenced, from a lifter's perspective that might throw them off. Sound good? All right, so let's get two lines. We'll rotate you guys through. All right, first lift. We're going 2 reds, a green, and a white.
Yeah, they're easy until they're not.
Always slap it when you're done, so that they
2 reds, green, white. 2 reds, green, white.
2 red, green, white. 2 red, green.
Double checking. Double checking. Platform ready.
Lock it down. Lock this down first. Right here. Yep, lock that first. I like to lock it down, twist it.
No. Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Lock it down. Tight. Yep.
Everyone's gonna find their own flow at the meet, and they're gonna take the lead from the back spotter. How I typically do it is I would have everybody is gonna be focused on what the next weight is, right? So the side spotters, the loaders, are gonna be looking to the board to see anticipating what the next weight's going to be. So if we're going from 2 reds, blue, and a white to 3 plates, the spotter is going to be the one who's primarily going to be unloading initially. And the spotter or the loader is going to be the one grabbing the next weight. So if you think of flow, the spotter is going to be starting to unload and prepare the bar for the weight that's coming in from the loader. Does that make sense? And again, until you get into actually doing it for the first couple and you find your flow, it'll take a little bit of time. They're doing their spotting. Have you been in the gym and you have a big guy come, hey Danny, can you come, spot me real quick?
No.
Exactly. And that comes from a place of fear, right? You don't want to fail. You don't want to say that you're going to help somebody stay safe and then can't actually fulfill that. So think of it this way. If the back spotter's responsibility is keeping the lifter safe, and if you can do that, if it's a manageable weight where you can back spot them and make sure that you can help them up and back into the rack by yourself, awesome. First question, when does spotting start? As soon as the lifter gets under the bar. So as I am ready to spot him, as soon as he gets under the bar. Now, most folks, I would say that, hold on 1 second, don't get too tight. Most folks are gonna have their elbows maybe not this wide, maybe out to so for me, I'm out here. So I have space as a back spotter to be able to get in underneath him, right? And that's where I wanna be. On the side spots, how many people have seen this in the gym? All right, that's terrible. Not only does you're not going to be able to do anything for that lifter if they fail, you're also probably going to tear off your thumbs, and that's all bad. So, with your outside arm, you want it underneath the bar, right? So if that weight comes down, it's going to be in the crux of your elbow. With your inside arm, you're going to be cupping the plates. So in the case of a catastrophic failure, all you have to do is go like this, and you have the weight, right? That's what we want. Now, if we're doing double side spots, So as you get into those heavier weights, the 500, 600 pound, weights, you're gonna have somebody else come in. Again, the outside arm is underneath, the inside arm is cupping the weights. So if I'm here, Dan's gonna be on the outside, same thing, right? So we know that if something happens with that weight, both of us are gonna be able to jump right in and take that on. One other important thing, Dan, go ahead and stay there. When you're doing your side spots, you want them to be offsetting. So if I'm side spotting from the front, the person on the other side needs to be side spotting from the back. Why do we do that?
Always taken equally.
So it's taken equally and it creates a vice, right? So if Dan is grabbing the weight, I'm grabbing the weight, so I'm pushing back, he's pushing forward, that bar ain't going anywhere. It doesn't have, it's not gonna float back, it's not gonna slam back into the mono. So we're creating a safe environment for that lifter to return to the rack. Go ahead and get up underneath. I have you side spot, you side spot. Rob, can you run? All right, so when I'm back spotting, as soon as he gets under the bar, I'm ready to go. I want to give him enough room to where I'm not, grabbing his hips and making him feel uncomfortable. But I also need to make sure that he's going to be safe. So with my arms, I'm not standing back watching. I mean, the back spotter really is the best view in the house at any meet. But I'm not going to be back here. Even if they're walking out, I'm not going to be back here, because as soon as he touches the bar, let's say he picks it, go ahead and pick it and then re-rack it. Okay. So he picks it, he's a little off balanced, a little weird. He has the ability to re-rack, reset, and go for his lift again, right? And we want to make sure that he has enough time in that minute 30 timeline that he has to be able to get that attempt in. So go ahead and we'll do this lift. So I'm taking an active stance from behind. My arms are in front. Again, communicating with both the lifter and the side spots are imperative, because at the end of the day, our goal is to keep him safe. In order for me to not steal a lift from him, I'm only going to take the weight from him in two different scenarios. One, if he starts to go back down, or if he shakes his head, because this is the initial sign for help, right? The other time that I'm going to take the weight from him is if the head judge says, pull it, right? So we're going to do both of those. I'm going to have you get under here, and I'm going to have you give me the international sign for help. And then we're going to show you how to jump in effectively and take it, right? All right, so my arms were underneath, and so as soon as I saw him shake his head, I went up underneath, hugged him to my body, and brought him back into the rack. Now I need a female volunteer. If I'm spotting a man, I got active hands, right? I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna grab them, I don't care where. I'm gonna bring them to my chest and put them in. For females, we don't necessarily want to do that. How do we mitigate that? Two ways. Knife hands or fists. And we are trying to, go ahead. So I'm gonna be here like this, or I'm gonna be here like this. And my goal is to grab her like this, or underneath the belt, and get her up and back in. Just little things like that. Go ahead and we'll lift this one. So that's the way that we're going to keep ourselves mentally, sound and not touch any of those hot spots that we might otherwise do on the female lifters. What you can have happen from an embarrassment perspective is having your spotters and loaders stripping the bar down for the next flight, for the next kind of lift, whatever, to strip everything down quickly on one side, and the back spotter or nobody's laying on the bar, and you get this windmill effect going on.
There you go. And that's a perfect example.
Did you get that?
I got it. It was right here.